All right, welcome back to Radio Wasteland. This article is from mysteriesareunsolved.com. That's mysteries, the letter R, unsolved.com. And Alyoshenka, the Kyshtym Dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
In 1957, Kyshtym was confronted with the first nuclear disaster in Soviet history. Kyshtym is a town. Plutonium exploded at Mayak, a nearby secret nuclear power station, throwing a 160-ton concrete lid into the air. The nuclear explosion is considered the third most serious nuclear accident in history behind Fukushima and Chernobyl. The region and atmosphere were extremely polluted and became hazardous. Decades later, one day in 1990, Tamara Prosverina found a strange... I do try to read these things ahead of time, but I mean, it's Russian. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's Russian names. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time with my facial expressions. So.
Found a strange creature in the woods. 20 years since her death and that of the humanoid, people still argue what it really was. Its name was Alyoshenka. Those who saw Alyoshenka described it as a 25 centimeter tall humanoid, brown body, no hair, big protruding eyes, moving its tiny lips and making squeaky sounds. The Kyshtym Dwarf died with no one to feed him when Tamara was in the psychiatrist hospital. That's terrible. A morbid anatomist who performed an autopsy on the body of the dwarf in a local hospital. He was the first to claim that the creature was a non-human being. The human skull consists of 6 bones. The skull of that creature was made up of 4 bones, he said. The body of the dwarf was reportedly stolen and is still missing. The old woman who actually named the dwarf died when a car hit her. She had been dancing on the highway.
Yeah.
The local gynecologist claimed that it was just a child with terrible deformations. And there were other differences in the skeletal structure. Those anomalies didn't look like any congenital malformities known to date. DNA from the cloth the creature had been kept was analyzed by a Moscow-based Institute of Forensic Medicine. A gene discovered in the DNA samples doesn't correspond with any genes pertaining to humans or anthropoid apes. No gene samples available at the laboratory match the gene. The experts in DNA research haven't come across any creature with such an elongated DNA molecule. So, nuclear aliens or
nuclear deformed baby.
It's alive. Yeah, basically, yeah. It's alive. You ever see that movie, It's Alive?
No.
About the monster baby?
And is it like Eraserhead?
Yeah, only imagine Eraserhead told by the people who wrote and directed Piranha from 1979. It's just terrible.
Okay.
Just terrible, but still great. Still great. Yeah. Like Basket Case. Right. I don't know. I need more horror friends, Kara.
I'm sorry. Sorry I can't keep up. I'm not on your level. No one's on your level.
No one's on your level.
It's lonely at the top, Chauncey.
This is another one that sparks my imagination, especially being a horror fan and, all the horror movies about freaky inbred babies and freaky inbred families. The Hills Have Eyes, Wrong Turn, all this stuff. That one great episode of The X-Files that was banned for a while with the inbred family in the cabin. This is something that has actually, I don't want to say piqued my interest, but piqued my imagination.
Awakened something in you.
Yeah.
Just say it in the most creepy and horrible way possible.
Yeah. Totally.
It's lit a fire.
But I don't know. What do you think of these? So if this is the case, we have to weigh like how random hardcore mutation is in nature to how much of this has gone on since, let's say, 1948, 1938, if we need to go all the way back to the Nazis messing with it, like we were talking about earlier.
Well, I don't know
would
that
we have seen more than one of these if it was a mutation?
I don't know that there's been a whole lot of like really hardcore nuclear accidents in human history. And the ones that there were mostly in Soviet Russia, who did not have the best engineering knowledge or safety standards.
Yeah, Fukushima's too recent.
Yeah, and well, Fukushima, like, they're much better knowledge of like how to contain stuff in
right because it's a recent. Chernobyl was 86. This one was 57. So
right at that point, people still kind of seeing radiation as magic pretty much, and it's Soviet Russia, not generally a place. Soviet Russia in 57, not known for being high standards of living or particularly forthcoming to the West. So I'm feeling like it's possible there could have been lots of these cases we just didn't hear about. Like, this thing was found in the woods. So if it was just some deformed kid, maybe it was abandoned or something, and this schizophrenic mom found him.
Oh yeah, I would have abandoned that thing.
God, okay.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I'm thinking it's fairly likely that this is just hardcore mutations, but the analysis of its DNA, that's weird to me, especially because there's so much folklore in every culture around the world about like fey creatures and tiny people.
Yeah, like a changeling.
Yeah, changelings, and in North America, your Pukwudgies, in Germany, your dwarves, all like pygmies in Africa. There's so many variants of this myth. So I wonder if maybe mutations like this inspired the myth, or these are interdimensional fey creatures sent here to mess with us, or it inspires the imagination. I don't know. What do you think?
Frankly, I think it's probably some abominable combination between inbreeding and nuclear fallout.
Yeah, I think that's most likely. And deformities just happen. Like,
but I mean, this is really deformed.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is like this is like 2 feet tall, 4 bones in its skull. I don't know how much is 22, 24 inches.
Yeah, that's like 2 feet.
I mean, it's like and
we could be talking about like a couple year old child here.
Yeah,
although
that's true.
As I recall, in some sources have this creature like walking around and stuff. So it would have to be older than that if it was human.
I got it. It does prompt the question: why does all the really, really weird stuff happen in not America?
We have Mothman. We have Bigfoot.
That's true, but I mean, they're not like raising it. They raised this damn thing. I mean,
yeah.
And people out there might argue, oh, because our science and technology is so great. The mortality rate for birthing women is 7 times higher for us than it is for, let's say, Denmark or something. So, I mean, while our medical technology may be great, it's not, it's not, inbred nuclear baby grade.
I will say 1957 Russia, this is like a rural town, right?
I assume most of them are at the time, yeah.
Yeah, so probably not a lot of literacy, not a lot of electrification, not a lot of contact with the outside world. Basically, by American standards, we're talking about like 19th century levels of living standards. So it wouldn't be that weird to think, myths could kind of be bred more easily in such an environment, if we're
That's
talking
true.
about
You're
small town Russia, the crazy lady found a deformed baby becomes, oh my God, there was an alien dwarf.
Right. And you're less apt to have the the hoity-toity mansplaining rich white dude come in and be all, here, this is not okay, you know? How there's always that guy who like comes in and like, I don't know, I was watching something the other day and it's like some British explorer who thought he was hot crap. And he's like, oh, here, like talking smack to like a group of like 15 natives, like they're all beneath him and stuff. And I'm all, they're going to kill that dude and he deserves it. You know, it's like, you know, so there's not the men of science.
Right.
I don't know if I'm explaining
I'm not
this very
saying
well.
like
the men of science.
I'm not saying these people are stupid or anything. I'm
No,
just saying
no.
they didn't have a lot of access to education and it was an insular community. So
Yeah, and I am not complimenting the men of science that I am pointing out, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that I think I'm going with a terrible combination of inbreeding and nuclear fallout. I can't help but to come back to that, you know.
But I do like to think it was a fae, especially, you know, Mothman spotted near I want to say defunct nuclear munition storage plant. The first sighting of it was around there. I kind of forget the details, but it was something like that, something to do with World War II nuclear stuff. So, you know, maybe the fae just like nuclear power. Maybe it looks pretty to them. Maybe they have nuclear vision and they just see the gamma rays and they go, oh,
totally. And then it turns them into those little freaks. All right, well, you've been listening to Radio Wasteland. If you thought we had too much fun and didn't cover enough of the specifics of these topics, go yell it in your pillow. If you thought it was a lot of fun, go tell your friends. All right, check us out next time on Radio Wasteland.